These are all the pieces to make a skeleton bucket.
Yeah, these are all the pieces here. We got the other ribs, supports that go in here.
Looks like a pile of a mess. I don't know how you would put it together to look like a skeleton bucket.
The worst part of it is we have to tear everything off the skid because the first piece that we need is the very bottom piece.
Oh. And why do people use a skeleton bucket?
People use skeleton buckets for digging up rocks and stuff, and they'll have certain spacings so the dirt and all that will fall through. Certain size rocks will fall through, so anything bigger than what they should be, this way it allows them to get rid of all the debris that's needed.
They ask for the dimensions of how big they want this?
Yeah, they did. This one here, we do have a bunch of skeleton buckets in stock in Grand Island, but this is a custom build to the spacing that the customer needs for whatever job that he's doing.
Yeah.
You'll notice that there's a taper on this cutting edge and on the skin. That allows us, for when we butt the two pieces together, it allows us to have something to weld.
So we do that on purpose?
We do that on purpose, yeah. To me, I think it's a lot better because you're able to line the piece up perfectly together instead of trying to guess the gap and everything else. We're actually gonna flip these over. Tapered side down. These smaller ones are nice because you can handle the material. You're not wasting all the time with the crane.
Yep.
So everything's gonna line in like that. And then we're just gonna find out the measurement, the top of here, and we'll get spacers and we'll clamp it to the table to make sure these pieces are gonna be nice and flat. Got 1 inch, so that's 3/8. So that means we're gonna need 5/8 shim. Having these shims like this tells me if it's not perfectly flush, that tells me one of the pieces needs to go down or up. So if I clamp them to the table, it's gonna allow the pieces to be even.
This is the side of the bucket, correct?
This is the side of the bucket.
Okay. You don't follow a drawing? Like I would be lost.
We do have drawings,
Okay.
not for this part. So you see here closely, you see how there's still material above that shim that I put on?
Yes.
So when I go like this, it brings that piece up and down, and then you see how it's perfectly flat? That shows me that everything's perfect.
And even.
To double check, I always like to put a straight edge on here. And it shows me that this part is nice and straight to the bridge. So this bridge part here, this is the bridge. When we put that there will end up here on either side. The most tricky part of building these is trying to get the proper ribs to make sure you're going in, because it's gonna have an under and over, but if you have the under and over backwards, you don't know until you get to the end, so this way your last pieces won't fit. So as you can see, that piece, nice and straight. Now you know the middle is all good. Sometimes you'll have some warping, you can't help it.
And how long have you been welding?
I've been with TRK 8 years.
Wow.
8 years now, yeah.
Okay. And you were just going to school recently for welding?
Yeah, I went to go do my welding test, just my CWB or whatever, yeah, CWB testing.
Oh, okay.
But I was actually looking at going into CWI, which is Certified Welding Inspection.
Oh.
So we'll see.
Okay.
I haven't really had the time to look into it. Okay, you want to just watch your eyes, please? Yeah, so I like to just put a few tacks in to make sure it's not gonna curl up on me. And then what I'll do is I'll turn it around and I'll stitch it to make sure that it's not gonna move.
Okay.
Anytime that we build an attachment, we like to fit it first just in case there's some changes along the way that sometimes happens last minute, so we're able to cut the taxes off versus cutting a stitch or a weld off.
Yes. Oh, I see that nice little groove there.
Yeah, and if you look down, everything's perfectly straight. And sometimes it won't be perfect, but that's pretty good.
Get as close as you can.
Yeah. A welding tape will eventually warp because you're welding on it all the time and yada yada yada.
Stuff.
Yeah. So
You're now gonna weld the.
now I'm gonna stitch these.
Oh.
And then everything will stay straight. Because you see how it had gap on one side?
Yeah.
It dipped, right?
There's not much gap at all right now.
And that's within tolerance. So having the long sleeve is able for me to tack and do stuff like this.
Yep.
And they're actually pretty comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they're nice.
We're asking people online and like our customers to
Show up, send a video.
Yeah, videotape our attachments in the field.
That's a great idea.
And then we'll send you guys good swag.
So now, you can see everything.
Without the clamp.
Without the clamp, everything stayed straight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that with the other one. Now the only tricky part is with the other one, we gotta make sure that it's gonna be the opposite. Because you want the flat side in the bucket, so the other one has to be on top.
Okay.
Because if we flip this around, you can't do it.
No.
It's gonna be different. But that's another reason why I like getting the edges tapered.
Yep.
Because and then you know what side goes where. It's kind of dummy proof at that point. So we'll do the same thing, taper down. And this here will allow me to double check. I have another one set up, that's up. See how it's flat on that side, up on the sawhorses?
Yes.
That means that's gonna be the inside of the bucket. So that means this one here that goes on the top. So now this tells me the flat side on the bottom, so this is the way that goes on.
Got
so
it.
you're not getting mixed matched. See, no gap?
Yep.
So that tells me that both pieces are going to be the same. I'm going to go ahead and tack it into place. So right there's a gap. I'll have to bring it along the table. Put this on. I got closing. Go until the end cut touches, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at buying one of these so I don't have to take my helmet on and off. It's just a mask that you hold.
Oh.
Because when we fit, we're always measuring, always clamping, and it's a pain in the butt to do it with the helmet because sometimes the helmet falls on you, so I take it on and off all the time.
Yep.
All right, so we know that's flat. That one's flat. And we can move on to the next stage. We will flip this back over, because this is the way it has to go on.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to center that the best we can. So you see that little bubble?
Yeah.
We want to get that bubble in the middle.
Kind of like a level.
It's exactly what that is. Yep.
Huh.
So that tells me this corner will just have to be up just a bit. So I'll just go ahead and shim. It'll be a little more.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. So now, these here are gonna be your main supports. You're gonna have one that's different. As you can see, we got the notches on both sides here.
Yeah.
And then we got one with a straight edge. So the straight edge is going to be where the base plate's gonna go right here. So that tells me this one's gonna go here because it will sit on the straight edge and on the base plate. This here's the base plate.
Oh.
And then you can see the ridge here. You see
Yep.
how that's got the flat? Because it's got the ridges that go underneath that base plate.
Okay.
Anytime you see a radius like this,
Yeah.
you know the bridge goes on that. Anytime you see a cutout like this here's gonna be your cutting edge
Yep.
with the profile of your adapter that the teeth would go on.
So I'm calling this like the top of the bucket,
Yeah. Yep.
right?
Yep. Theoretically,
For,
yep.
you know, layman's terms.
Yep. It'd be the part that the ears will go on.
Okay.
Right? This here is just setting up my clamps, so this way I don't have to try to hold a piece and try to adjust the clamps at the same time. Just so it doesn't fall on me, right?
Yeah. But you'll still be able to tack it on?
Yep.
With all that stuff?
Yeah, I normally just move
Oh,
the
okay.
magnets.
How much does that weigh, that piece?
Not exactly sure. Maybe 20 pounds, maybe?
Okay.
I mean, anything hit you hard enough in the head, it'll hurt. So I'll put the levels on it. So now if you look, both sides are perfectly level. We're gonna do that with the other ones.
On the other two notches that are left.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do the same thing. I tack it all, and then when I get to a certain point where I have to move stuff, I'll go ahead and I'll put good size stitches, so when I move it, nothing pops, so nothing gets out. If I just weld it with small tacks on it, it could actually push material one way and pop the tack on the opposite side if you don't have enough stitch
Yep.
to hold it.
So there's a difference between a tack and a stitch.
Yes. Yeah, tacks, you're just putting a small tack enough to hold the piece so you can continue.
Yep.
Stitching, I like to go a 1 inch stitch just so nothing moves. Some people, they'll actually put a couple of bracing inside. I don't like doing that because if these are warped, once I put a bracing on, I can't move these. See how I can move this just a bit?
Yep.
It's so when I put the top on, if I have to make any adjustments, it allows me some
Easy
wiggle
enough.
room. Exactly. I'm gonna put the top on now.
Oh, okay. What are the pieces of the skeleton bucket called?
These would be your main supports. I call them slats. So you got slat 1, slat 2, and then 3.
Yeah.
And then those there that go in between would be called the ribs.
Ribs.
So you'll have rib 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
It's just making sure whether this piece will go on the outside versus the inside, or does it go on the inside versus the outside, right? It's like a big puzzle. I want this as flat as possible in the air so it will just land right onto these slats.
Okay. Those aren't magnet clips, are they?
These are not magnet clips.
Wow.
No, these are plate clamps. These ones here are good till 3 tons. Now it's just fine tuning the crane.
Yeah.
So we got 35 and 15/16.
Do you know what machine this goes on?
This goes onto a Cat 311C. So this would be the 12 to 16 ton. 44 is our measurement. Inside to inside. And we got 44 and 15/16. So within tolerance, we're gonna leave that because then I won't have any room to weld up top. Because it's within a 16th, our tolerance is a 16th. So now we're just gonna go ahead and double check everything else. 43 and 5/8. That's also 43 and 5/8. So that tells me that this here flexed on us probably from when I lifted it.
Okay.
So what I'll do, because we know these are good, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a tack on each side, and then we'll actually grab this plate. We'll take that plate clamp off, and then we'll just flex this up until we get our 44, and then I'll put a brace on it. So this way it can't move from now on until I get the bridge and the cutting edge up.
Will this stay raised when we give it to the customer, or do you like shimmy that off?
This here?
Yeah.
No, that's gonna stay there because that's gonna allow me to have enough material for when I put a weld across. We're gonna raise this up until we get our measurement.
You're kind of just bending it a little bit?
Bending it back.
Yeah.
Keep that on there. It's where the cutting edge goes on is where you really want to be perfect. That allows me the proper spacing for the adapters. Perfect.
Yeah?
Yep.
And would you put one more, or one bracing is enough?
Just one brace.
Yeah?
Yep. Because this here, I actually want to be an 8 over. So when I put the bridge inside, I have some room. Because when the bridge is curved on the very top, it flares out just a bit.
Yeah.
So this way we're not grinding or fighting with it to put it in. This here is going to be what it's going to be. We got our outside measurements, but this here is where it's crucial, because when the cutting edge goes on, your spacing has to be almost dead perfect. So this way our adapters will be evenly spaced to what the measurement needs to be. We're still perfectly level.
Oh yeah.
Good there.
The ribs go on next?
Yes. You just have to make sure we do the over and under properly. So that's gonna go like that.